Hello, welcome back. This video is a little bit late. It's my March review retrospective. I'll look back on March to see how I did with my goals and, kind of just tally up if I'm on track for my yearly goals or if I need to push a little bit harder in some areas. And just right off the bat, I'm going to say March was a weird month. It's the month where we started staying home to stop the spread of the virus. And so it was just kind of a big disruption to all of my routines, and it's not entirely because of that I haven't made as much progress. I did also just play a lot of video games, but I think we need to take into account everything that's happened and also just be a little bit gentle with ourselves and forgiving. So here it is. The first thing I'm going to do is flip through March and talk about the goals, not just the yearly goals, but the goals that I set for March. So there were 6 goals I set for March, and only one of them got done. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to be okay. So my 6 goals were write 25,000 words on draft 2 of my NaNoWriMo novel that I wrote last year, finalize my fitness experiment where I cut calories and also cut out sugar for a very long time. And that goal is basically done. The only thing I haven't done is write up a blog post and actually post my video. So once I do that, that will be done. Third goal was write a blog post. I didn't do this at all. I didn't even start one. The fourth goal is the one that got completed, and that was to write a Medium post. Medium is an article website where you can make a little bit of money if people read your posts and if they enjoy them. And I wanted to see if I liked it, and I do actually. I do want to keep writing posts for Medium, but I want to balance it with posts for my blog as well. So I'm gonna see what that looks like in the coming months. My fifth goal was to make a character model, a 3D character model, and also add some animations for it. I didn't do this either. I really just didn't do much 3D work at all. And the last goal was to outline my Skillshare course. I just had a lot of other stuff going on and didn't get to this goal. And another thing that happened was after I started working from home, my routine was upended and I kind of stopped journaling. You can see I kind of filled in my habit tracker a little bit, but I pretty much stopped tracking in my journal after the 16th and didn't do much after that. The same thing happened with my daily focus and my daily tidy pages, where I was doing pretty good up until here I got to about the 20th and then just stopped filling in these pages. And sometimes I'll go back and I'll try to fill these in retroactively, but there was so much here and a lot of it I didn't remember. So I just left it blank and do better next month. And now I'll flip kind of quickly through my daily journaling pages. You can see the beginning of March, I was pretty consistent with my journaling. I did my task list and a little blurb for each day. The second week I journaled a little bit less. I was still making task lists, but I didn't fill in the actual freeform journaling part quite as often. And then right around the 16th, I just really fell off the journaling wagon, and I even made this page where I was looking at my goals, trying to see what I had to do, recalibrate a little bit, and get my routine back on track. But unfortunately, that didn't quite happen. I had good intentions, and I just didn't follow through with them. And then around the 22nd, I realized again that it just wasn't, there's something not working in my routine. And so I tried a little bit of time blocking, which was the subject of my Medium article. So I was really into trying it out again. But also Animal Crossing came out near the end of March and I played so much Animal Crossing. It was so great. I'm still playing it every day. It's a very good game. There are some some game decisions that Nintendo made that I don't quite agree with. I'm not going to talk about that here. But that's pretty much the end of March. You can see I just really did not journal consistently. I kind of dipped into it when I had time and ignored it when I didn't. I'm doing a little bit better now, but that was March in my daily monthly journal. And now we're gonna get to the good stuff where I look at my yearly goals, see how I'm doing on each of these goals, how much progress I made in March. So as I mentioned, I was really supposed to start on the second goal, the complete draft of Nano 2019 novel. I was supposed to write 25,000 words on it in March, and I wrote 0 words, though I did do a little bit of outlining because I went through my draft that I wrote in November and I got little synopses of all the chapters and I printed them all out, and then I was going through and kind of revising the outline of the story, which is a technique I've used before. I feel like I can't start a second draft without revisiting the plot. Maybe that's a mistake, because this is now the second or third time I've tried to do this, and just the second draft never really goes anywhere. And maybe it's because I'm using outlining as like a distraction tactic. I'm not sure, but everything else here is just kind of in stasis. I finished my cut, so I did finish that and fill that bubble in, but I haven't started on a second, either bulk or cut. I did complete my yoga for March. I still need to actually post the experiment, which is when I'll fill in that bubble for goal 8. And everything else I'm just kind of making little bits of progress towards. Unfortunately, my net worth is still going down because of the stock market. But like I said in my other video, I'm not worried about it. It does look very alarming, but you just have to look at the big picture and know that this happens sometimes, and it's always very scary when it happens, but we recover and it's gonna be fine. And while I'm on this page, I'm just gonna fill in my little stats here. I did not do very much game development work, so that's only at about 3.25 hours. Like I said, my net worth is very down, negative 14,200 something. So it's gone down several thousand since February, and that's just gonna, that's just how it is. It's all gonna be okay. I did not donate anything to charity in March because we were suddenly confined at home. We started eating delivery a lot more, and we had to get groceries delivered as well. And it's expensive, all these delivery fees, making sure you give like a proper tip. It's a lot. And so I really had to reevaluate my budgets, and the charity just didn't quite get addressed in March. I'm hoping to get back on it in April, especially since there are so many people in need of charity right now. I was fortunate enough to keep my job when a lot of people didn't, and so I feel like I should be helping. So I'm gonna try and get back on that for April. And then the strength stats, I put 5 pounds on each of my lifts in March. So my bench press is now at 65 pounds, my squat is at 70, and my deadlift is at 75. And I think I've mentioned this before, but these weights are not my like 1 rep maximum. They are the weight that I use in my workouts, which I typically do between 6 and 10 repetitions. So if they seem a little bit low, that's because I'm not taking the absolute maximum I could lift. I'm taking the weight that I do lift and lift for multiple reps. On to books. So my goal was to read 30 books. I am making consistent progress on this, but I am not reading as quickly as I need to be to read all of these books before the end of the year. In March, I read This Is How You Lose the Time War, which has 2 authors, and it also has a very long title, so I couldn't fit everything in my notebook. And I don't remember the names of both of the authors, but if you look up the title, it'll come right up. It was a very good book. I really enjoyed it. It was very poetic and just kind of beautiful, and it's a romance. And now that I'm talking about it, I feel like I already talked about it. I'm pretty sure I read it in March, so I shouldn't have talked about it in my last review, but good book, good book. And then I also read Song of the Dryad by YouTube's own Natalia Lee. She does videos about her writing process and editing writing, just all kinds of very, very helpful and entertaining stuff. I'll try to remember to put a link to her channel, but if not, just Google Natalia Lee and she also should come right up. And then I have started Something Strange and Deadly by Susan Dennard. I hope that's how you say that. But that will be an April book, not a March book. So just 2 books in March. Both I enjoyed. My 3D work, like I mentioned, was not really a focus for March. I did finish that female character model that I had started in February. And then I also started a 3D model of like a cabin, like a cute little cabin that would be on a mountain somewhere. I'm still working on it, it's almost done, but that didn't get finished in March. I don't really have much to say about my meditation, sleep and headaches trackers. I have not been meditating. I would like to. I'm having a hard time fitting it into my schedule, but that's, I'm pretty sure I said that same thing in February. So that might just be how things are. Sleep has been poor since the quarantine started. I'm getting an average of 6.5 hours, which I'll show in my overview page, but it's just really very bad. And it has a lot to do with the video games and also just the disruption of my whole schedule. I also put this cute page in here. I've seen it done a lot of different ways by a lot of different people, but it's this idea of Tetris, where you have all of these tetraminos, and each time you pay a certain amount on your debt, you fill in a block. And I have kind of a problem with this because this is not how Tetris works. In Tetris, you would never have a solid block like this. They would disappear. But it's just a notebook, It's just a notebook, and I think it's really cute, so I made one. And then I have my 4-week year plan for April, which, spoiler alert, is not going well, but we're just gonna skip right over that one. And on this page, I'm gonna fill in all of my stats, my goal updates, just write down all of the details that I just shared with you so I have them in a sort of dashboard, and then we're gonna be good to go. At the top here, we have health goals. I've been tracking this with my Fitbit. They let you download a sort of monthly report that does compare all of your average stats to the average stats of the previous month. So a lot of these are just averages. And so I have resting heart rate, which is in at 77 beats per minute, which is a little bit up from last month, which is not typically the direction you want that to go. Probably due to my lack of movement. I have been doing my strength workouts very consistently, but other than that, I'm not moving a whole lot. I'm trying to work more daily walks into my routine, but I'm working on my day job work a lot as well, so it's a little bit hard. So my average steps are 4.1 thousand a day, which is over 1,000 less than I was doing before. Average sleep, as I mentioned, is 6 hours and 36 minutes. That's down quite a bit, I think, from February. Average weight is 163 pounds, and that is about 163 was the weight at the end of my cut, and then I just maintained it for the rest of the month, and I did keep that pretty steady. There's always going to be some fluctuation, but it's not so much fluctuation that I feel like I've fallen off of my plans at all. And then I did yoga twice, and then here are my lifting numbers again, and I calculated this out so that I'm about 50% towards my squat goal from my starting point. I'm about 44% towards my deadlift goal and 44% also from my bench goal. And at March is the end of the first quarter of the year, so it's 25%. I am ahead of schedule on the lifts, which is good. I'm not really ahead of schedule on anything else. I did not do any meditation, as I mentioned. My 3D models, I did the 2, but I only counted 1 towards the progress. That's about 15%. And I'm gonna do a big push on that in April and try to get a couple more 3D models done so I can catch up. I wrote in the 2 books that I read in March. I don't know what was happening. I totally messed up the title of This Is How You Lose the Time War, and I just kind of sat there and stared at it for a couple minutes before I figured out how to fix it. But my book goals are at about 16.6%. Those are also a little bit behind as well. And then the money goals, I didn't really calculate percentages for these. They're all way off track, and some of them are out of my control, like the net worth. Some of them are within my control, like I could have put more hours towards game development this month, and I didn't. So a little bit of a combination there. So that's my recap of March. How do I feel about it? I feel a mixture of things. On one hand, everything's a mess and I'm adapting as well as I can. So I do need to cut myself some slack, but I have to admit to myself and to you, I was off track before that, and it certainly didn't help, but I wouldn't say that it was the only factor here. There are a lot of nights where I have the option to get a little bit of work done, get a little bit of 3D modeling done, do some writing, and instead I play a round of TFT, or I play some Apex with friends for 3 or 4 hours. So I know I can do better. I'm trying to take everything into the calculation here, and I'm not punishing myself for being behind, but I just want to stay focused. I want to say, you know what, these numbers are not good. You can do better. How about we try that, Gentle, but determined. So that was my review, recap, retrospective, whatever of March. I'd love to hear about if you have a similar set of yearly goals that you're working towards. Feel free to put your progress in the comments. You can have a little chat if you just need a boost of encouragement. It's an especially strange time, but I think we can do it, Slow and steady progress. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will try to be more timely with the next one. This one was pretty late. It's mid-April when I'm recording this, so hopefully it will go up in the next day or so, but time just got away from me in this crazy new always at home schedule. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to hear about my next video. If you like this one, you want to watch another one. Otherwise, thanks again. I'll be back soon with another video, and I hope to see you there. Bye.